Hello class, this is Tyler McGee, and today I will be presenting my essay critique on what Jesus says to public administration. Start off with an overview of this presentation and the thesis of this presentation. Smith discusses the ethics, discipline, consequences in incorporating Jesus and godly influences into the modern public administration. The purpose of this presentation, it's that Smith discusses the story of Jesus and how it relates to modern public administration. It also offers a suggestion on how administrators could do a better job by putting godly influence into modern public administration. This critique is done through the eyes of theorist Max Weber. We'll start off with ethics. Smith addresses ethics in this essay and describes how current public administration needs Christian ethics in its policy and decision-making processes. Pretty much Judeo-Christian ethics and how they factor into current administration and making the ethical decision and doing the right thing when no one is looking. I'll start with a quote from Smith. Public administration depends on Judeo-Christian values being held by the citizenry, embodied in American political institutions, and expressed in policies and laws. Weber would agree with this because he believes the value of the Protestant Christians is key to developing the public administration workforce. Another quote is, "The separation of morality, religion, and law in the modern era represents in important respects a reversal of the Constantine's policy and a return to the method of political integration practiced under the empire before Christianity." This pretty much means in current public administration that there's a more secular attitude than when it was first developed. We're kind of drifting away from religious influence in our current bureaucracies and just administration in general, just due to the times, and it's unfortunate. And then the last quote here is, "Human beings do not need a code of conduct to recognize the difference between good and evil. They have been endowed by their Creator, or they have been given by nature an inner moral compass that calls on them to love and empathize with one another." And this just means the values and the moral compass we all have in our heads that God has blessed us with, so we know the difference between right or wrong, and we can pretty much tell in our mind if we're doing the right thing or perhaps even doing the wrong thing. Discipline. Smith examines the discipline of public administration itself and how different perspectives influence it. Another quote from Smith is, "We think that the discipline of public administration, along with other sciences of society, arrive at truth by being open to many partial perspectives." That is, we gather different perspectives from different people in the administration and combine them, and that's what makes everything diverse in administration. And another quote by Smith, "He advocated a loving and merciful social order, kingdom of God, to replace the authoritarian and merciless regimes of his day. Jesus may have been a prophet, but he was a prophet with political aims." Weber would agree with this statement. It affirms that the influence of God is necessary in modern administrations to protect the government from developing into an authoritarian type regime like those in the time of Jesus. Consequences of the secular. Smith discussed some of the consequences and remedies to the secular influence of administration. Jesus advocated a spiritualized politics not because he favored totalitarianism, but because he saw what we might eventually have to learn once more for ourselves, that is, a godless environment has no conscience and therefore no limits. In the eyes of Weber, he would concur with this statement because he believed in capitalism, not totalitarianism. He believed in democracy and capitalism and how the Protestant work ethic and Protestant Christian ideas go into making what administration is great and progressing the the work of the organization. Another quote, political activists, although few in number, could profoundly alter social and political relations if they possessed the right ideas and confronted authority and the status in the right way. Hence, Jesus called on his followers to be the salt of the earth. In Matthew 5:15, Smith speaks about how Jesus favored speaking with a small group of influential figures rather than speaking with large masses to enact change. Similar to current politics and how our elected officials and higher up officials in an organization represent the views, or we'd like them to represent the viewpoints of the masses. This is kind of similar to what Jesus did. Smith also states that people in administration must personally take responsibility for their actions rather than blaming them on the entire organization. Basically, Jesus sought to make people take responsibility for their actions, even though they were acting as agents in a larger system of power. We see this when he questions during his trial, and he pretty much just asked them, who is responsible, who is telling me to do this, and rather than someone owning up and taking the responsibility, they pretty much blame it on behalf of the organization and not really single anyone out personally. And that's one of the things that we got to kind of keep in mind in administration. Is this something that's morally right? Is this something that I'm carrying out, not through God's will, but just something, and I'm not taking responsibility for it. I'm just pawning it off on the entire organization, saying that they're the ones that did this, and I'm just speaking on behalf of the organization. And we got to try to avoid this. So wrapping up the summary of the theme and thesis, in this essay, Smith discussed the story of Jesus and how it relates to modern public administration. It also offers suggestion on how administrators could do a better job by putting a stronger godly influence on public administration. Max Weber was influential in public administration, and his theories incorporate God and the work ethic of the Protestant Christians as an integral part of modern administration. Max Weber would agree with most of the ideas published in here by Smith. And here's our references. And thank you for listening to this presentation, and have a great day.